In this video, amazing news. The Bitcoin hash rate is approaching all-time high. And this also means that this on-chain indicator, the Bitcoin hash ribbon, is soon going to give us another buy signal. Listen to this. This buy signal has an average return of 5,000%. And I want to show you this article talking about this hash ribbon, saying that these are great times to buy Bitcoin whenever we see this minor capitulation that we're seeing right now. As you can see here, this is a minor capitulation, and very soon it is over, giving us this fantastic buy signal. All right, but that's a more long-term buy signal. In the short term, I want to show you that there is a possibility that Bitcoin might actually go down here. I want to show you what the bearish scenario is all about. I want to show you the fact that we are still in an ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern, but of course any bullish pattern can break down. And I'm going to show you the most likely scenario to play out in the next couple of days. And if you think that that sounds interesting, then I think that you should definitely watch this video. Hello guys, and welcome to the moon. My name is Carl and I'm going to bring you this Bitcoin video. Alright, so Bitcoin is still consolidating here, and as you can see here, we are getting higher lows and we are even getting a higher high right there, as you can see. And generally and technically speaking, this is a, of course, bullish sign. This is one of the first technical thing you learn in technical analysis, that higher lows and higher highs is a good thing, and the opposite is of course bearish. Now if we scroll back, I want to show you this point back here where Bitcoin topped out, and we actually did also see higher lows, and this could have been of course regarded as a bullish sign, but we can also see how Bitcoin very clearly printed these very distinct lower highs. So you have higher lows but also lower highs, getting this descending triangle, and a descending triangle is a bearish pattern, and that's why we could have said that back here it looks like Bitcoin might be topping out here. And back then, if you were following my videos, I was telling you guys that this is a descending triangle, so the chance of us breaking to the downside should be higher than to breaking to the upside. And of course, it could have broken to the upside. Of course, logically, there is always a chance, but the chance was much higher that we broke to the downside. The same goes now. The chance for us to break to the upside should be higher, but obviously we can break down, and it is going to happen 3 out of 10 times approximately. 30% down, 70% up approximately. And we can go back to this point back here. We could say, let's just assume that this was the opposite, and we were topping out here. Then we would see the same thing here, more like a horizontal support, and we would see these lower highs. And in this case, of course, this is a bullish sign because we're seeing higher lows and horizontal resistance, and the chance of us breaking to the upside should be higher than breaking to the downside. And actually, if you were following me back then, you might remember that I was actually leaning more bearish here. I thought that we might see another pull down like this before breaking up, and that was of course wrong. Now in hindsight, I think I should have taken this pattern more seriously, the fact that we have this higher low trajectory. So yeah, if we just learn from history, what we should learn, of course, is that we should take it seriously that Bitcoin is consolidating with higher lows, and usually that is a good sign. This means that I am not opening any shorts. I am not selling any Bitcoin until we see something dramatic happen. If Bitcoin breaks this yellow line here, that's the first clue that Bitcoin might be in for some trouble. But I think that we should probably also make sure that Bitcoin breaks 8.6 thousand before we go overwhelmingly bearish. It is still possible that Bitcoin might consolidate further here without breaking this level. But if Bitcoin breaks not only the yellow line but also the 8.6K level, then I am expecting a much bigger pullback here. And as I've said before, I am in this case targeting the 6.2K level, and this is because of the Fibonacci retracement tool. If we pull it out like this, you can see that the golden pocket, which is by far the most important Fibonacci level, is down here at the 6.2 to 6.3K level. Here you can see this box, and this is always a very, very important box to take note of. And let's go into the 4-hourly time frame and take a look at what is happening here. We can see that Bitcoin has bounced off of this yellow support line twice already, and now we are potentially going to see a bounce again. You can see how Bitcoin came down here, printed a small little double bottom, a small little double bottom there as well, and it's possible that Bitcoin might be doing a similar thing, a double bottom and then another push up towards the resistance, which we have gotten rejected from several times now. Actually, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's a lot of points of contact. So we know for sure that this $9,950 level is a massive key level. And let's say Bitcoin does actually break up here and starts testing the resistance, then my new level of importance for the bears is going to be, I would probably say right here below this wick at 9,075 approximately, because then that's the new lower high. I would probably have to say that this is not yet a bounce. It is a attempt for a bounce, and it looks like we are going to bounce, but it's not confirmed yet. I want to see a little bit more follow through to the upside here before I call this a bounce. This could still roll over continuously here, and especially if we see a continued sell-off in the stock markets. Remember, when the stock markets started to fall over like this, that's when Bitcoin actually got its dump here. And logically, if the Dow Jones continues to plunge like this, then it is very, very possible that Bitcoin is going to follow also to the downside. So let's keep an eye on the stock markets as we are trading Bitcoin. I think they are both very correlated when we see these huge volatile swings. Guys, I would love to know what you guys think. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Please head down in the comment section, leave your comment. Are you a bull? Are you a bear? What is your strategy right now? Currently, like I said, I am leaning more bullish than bearish as long as we are above this level, 8.6, 8.7, and as long as we are above this yellow support line. It makes no sense to me to be bearish. If anything, I think that neutral right now is the most logical bias as long as we're within this ascending triangle. If we break to the upside here, that's a reason to go bullish, of course. Very bullish. That's a very bullish sign. If we break down below here, then that's a reason to start heading into the more bearish territory, and we should be looking for shorts rather than longs. And before I show you this indicator that has an average return of 5,000%, I want to just give a big shout out to all of you who gave me very, very nice comments on yesterday's video. And Connor says, ignore the haters. Anyone that's paying attention and following you know that your analysis is solid. And of course, everyone who's watching my videos, you know that different time frames are, of course, different analysis. You can be bullish on the monthly, but bearish on the 1-hour time frame. And it seems like most of you actually understood that, because it seems like many of you actually agreed with Connor. And I want to give a big shout out to many of you. I can't go through all of your comments, but Sir Copperfield says, Carl, your TA has made me money. I watch your show every day. You're my Jim Cramer. Thank you so much for that very nice comment. And yeah, I can't go through all of these comments, but thank you so much, guys. Florian, great call. Carl, thank you so much for watching my videos. Martin says, your videos are for me everyday must. All right, next up, Lebanon vows to stabilize currency after night of angry protests. Now, look at this. This is the state of Lebanon currently. So the currency, the Lebanese pound, has been falling dramatically. And the official conversion rate has fallen, but more importantly, the black market conversion rate has fallen drastically. It's been plunging to record lows. And of course, the black market rate, that's the real rate. That's the actual price. We have always seen how governments, they fake the official numbers to make it seem better than it actually is. And the people in Lebanon have seen huge inflation. They have seen prices rise with over 40% in a short period of time. and this has led to big protests and even riots. And actually, I've seen images and videos of people actually burning down the central bank of Lebanon. I will continue to report about this as we get more and more information about the current state of Lebanon. But of course, the obvious alternative for the individual in Lebanon is to buy Bitcoin to save themselves. If they convert their currency into Bitcoin, then they have a store of value online without third parties, without any default risk, and basically they are hedged against inflation because Bitcoin cannot get inflated. They can also buy gold, but I would expect gold to be quite hard to get a hold of in Lebanon right now. Of course, I didn't get any information about it, but I do believe that most probably it's very hard to get a hold of gold because probably everyone is trying to buy gold there right now. Probably everyone is trying to buy anything they can at all, because the last thing you want to hold is the Lebanese pound. And that's the thing about hyperinflation. When it starts to happen and when it starts to escalate, then everyone starts to sell the currency as fast as they can to buy anything at all. If it's food, whether it's cars or whatever they can get a hold of, they are buying it. And it's like a drowning man trying to hold on to. They just want to hold on to anything, so they buy anything they can. And that's why I think gold and Bitcoin is the best way to buy, because now you have a store of value that doesn't get depreciated over time. And I think that the more we see this happening around the world, which we will see, this is exactly what I've been expecting for years. We're seeing more and more of this happening now. But yeah, the more this happens, the more people will actually wake up to the importance and value of Bitcoin. Next up, the Bitcoin hash rate is in recovery, approaching all-time highs. Look at this. Total hash rate. So the hash rate topped out up here, and then we saw a big plunge and people got very scared. We did see this minor capitulation, and then we saw a big recovery, and then we saw yet another big plunge and people got super afraid. This was slightly after the halving, and now we're seeing a very, very healthy rebound to the upside, and essentially the hash rate is once again approaching all-time highs. Now, this is interesting because if we go over to the chart, we see this hash ribbon indicator, and this hash ribbon indicator is giving us these buy signals, and you can see this ribbon of two moving averages. These are just moving averages over the hash rate. So if you take the hash rate and put two moving averages over it, you get this ribbon. And of course, you can use any installation that you want, but if you use this indicator, if you go up to this little thing up there, and you click here and you just search for hash, and you will see this hash ribbons from Capriole, and then you get the hash ribbon that everyone is looking at. And the interesting thing here is that this is historically a fantastic buy signal. And if we scroll out to the log scale here and just zoom out a little bit, you can see that if you bought at these points here when we saw minor capitulation, then historically you made fantastic gains. And actually, I made a quick Google search, and here we have the exact return from this buy signal. So returns from buying at minor capitulation, and you can see that these are all the returns, and you can see the average is 5,378% if you bought at minor capitulation. So you can see here, over the 9 historic buy signals, the average gain to the next market cycle peak, historically less than 3 years away, is over 5,000%. I mean, try to find any other indicator that will give you an average of 5,000% in gain. And what is interesting is the down draw through all time. The average maximum down draw for each of these entries is just 11%. So you can understand why this article talks about how this is a great time to buy Bitcoin. Because the statistics speak for themselves. And if you go back to the chart, you can see here that most of these times were a fantastic time to buy Bitcoin. And even though some signals might not be the best ones, on average, if you buy at this capitulation, you made fantastic gains. I'm not going to go through this whole chart now, but you can go through this yourself in TradingView if you want to. If you don't have TradingView, you can go down below this video and click my affiliate link. But you can see here that we are currently entering into we entered into a minor capitulation right there. and just like we entered into minor capitulation right there, and eventually this reverses back up, and here you get the buy signal. And of course, this buy signal was not the most amazing one, even though of course it was a good signal because you did make money if you bought there and sold at the next capitulation, which was there. So this adds once again to the fact that this is an amazing buy signal. But of course we didn't see 5,000%, but we did see 25% approximately, and the same thing will happen very soon. This is most likely going to reverse very soon as the hash rate is going up, right? Because these are moving averages from the hash rate. So the hash rate is clearly going to the upside, recovering very quickly, which means that this is going to go up here, and this will give us another buy signal right there. And in the chart, we will actually get a buy signal, yeah, somewhere here. It's hard to tell exactly where it's going to happen, but it is going to give us maybe the most reliable and the best buy signal in Bitcoin history. And from this point, we should have an average gain of 5,000%, which is, of course, an amazing time to buy Bitcoin. If any time that would be a good time to buy Bitcoin. Let's see, we might see another dump before this happens, of course. So this is not a short-term buy signal. This is a long-term investing signal. I would never use this to trade Bitcoin in the short term. This is for accumulation purposes. And guys, thank you so much for giving me 3.3 thousand likes yesterday. If you haven't done it already, feel free to give me a like down below. It really helps out the algorithm. It helps me out so much. And if you didn't do it already, please click subscribe and click this bell and mark all. If you mark all, then you will get a notification whenever I upload my daily analysis. So if you don't want to miss my important analysis and my predictions, make sure to click all here. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys. And if you haven't seen this video, click right there right now, and I will see you guys tomorrow.